Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. So I got a couple of useful things to know about that hopefully you didn't know or maybe forgot about. I need a reminder. So anyway, let's start off with social and confident stuff. So first off, in case you didn't know, you can see your stats in numbers in case you want to see if it will level up with the next activity. But also, as you can see, I have been doing what I'm going to recommend you don't do, which is doing the knowledge giving activities. Of course, if you like yelling and that's what you're going for, then you do you. And the reason for this is just because every day, or almost every day, you're going to be going to class and then you're going to get a free knowledge boost. So knowledge is just one of those things that's just going to build up by itself over time. Of course, you want to somewhat focus it, but not entirely. To a less extent, the same thing can be said about kindness, since if you're constantly having your plants running, you can rack up a fair bit of points this way, as well as charm and cooking. If you're having trouble with mementos, specifically the bosses, the extra food might make a difference. And of course, you want to balance this out with the money that you have, since your main focus with money is to get the gifts to then give to your confidants. It's also worth going to the bookstores and getting all the books that you can, since some of them do unlock new locations for extra points if you take your confidant there for the first time. And for confidants, of course, don't forget that you can prioritize the ones that you want throughout the day. And your main focus should be, of course, Merope, and then Yumi and Tomoko, at least for the time being. Merope for Persona, of course. Yumi, and while we're talking about her, make sure you go to the convenience store in Shinjuku and buy the Assam tea, since once you get her high enough, you will be able to craft milk tea, which will restore 2 action points. I believe this Assam tea is on a 1 or 2 week cooldown, so you really want to stack this stuff up. And for Tomoko, the reason we want her up is because she allows us to basically get 2 birds with 1 stone by getting money and social stats that just adds up over time. Before Tomoko, you could get Motoha to level 9 just to unlock the extra pulls from the baseball minigame. Make sure to check and always have a gift ready when spending time with your confidants, and do not be tempted to use this 3 times multiplier, which will use 3 action points if you have a big reward message. Unless it's a confidant or a stat that you really need, feel free to just skip this and do a different one. Now let's go over to the Thieves Den. So in the Thieves Den, rating is something you want to keep an eye on, since it will give you a whole bunch of different buffs, including things like restoring stamina. And if you don't know, this is linked to your character rating, so just slamming stuff on characters that you don't use could make a difference. If you haven't bought anything, you probably haven't reached level 20 yet, so if that's you, I would recommend you just go over all the things that you can buy, as it will reward you XP and some bonuses, like again 1 stamina every day, and this is every real life day that passes, and it's city energy. Also, there are things like defense for Yusuke, for example, increasing drop rate for certain items, crit rate, you get the idea. Just make sure that you buy what you need from the shop before doing this. As you can see, I'm level 20 and I still have a decent amount of points, and I've bought pretty much everything already. Another thing to remember is that it doesn't matter what you display in your Thieves Den over here, you will be getting these bonuses from this persona after unlocking them. So you buy them, you don't display them, and you're still getting the bonus, so don't worry about that. The next thing I want to go over, and this applies to me as well, and it's not having a complete grasp on the ins and outs of a character. And if you come like from the KR version, for example, where the English translation was not exactly the best, and of course there's just so much shit to read, right? It's pretty much overwhelming to then also piece together combos that will work. So it's easier to just resort to guides that will tell you what to do. But then you'll get into the cycle of not knowing why you're doing it and forget about all the other skills, which leaves a lot of characters in a worse position than they should be. For example, Puppet's skill 2, giving you a weakness shield, which is such a handy skill to have. Lufel's Starfire and how that works. Soy the Goat and his skill 2 in Desperado, getting overwritten by a non-Desperado skill 2. You know, people sleep on Tomoko, for example, but her sleep can be super useful, especially if you pair it with Psyodine. There's also Joker and Okion interaction, for example, where if you use Okion skill 1, which has a 4-turn cooldown, and pair it with Joker's extra turn, you can get both Okion buffs running on Joker on his extra turn. Unfortunately, this doesn't work with Makoto, for example, but it's a nice thing to keep in mind that these types of interactions exist. And for the final things to keep in mind is that if you're new, you want to go into your settings and gameplay and turn off the auto one more, so that you can freely select which target you want to, target. The capsule machines, if you're looking good on money, getting in some spins to complete a whole collection will reward you with 100 gems. The extra pulls that you can get from your school activities and the baseball cage. If you're running low on Kopaku gems, then going into palace and destroying trophies and the like, as well as killing enemies. And you can also go into mementos, breaking these barrels, picking up these things and killing enemies. There is a cap, so make sure you're getting rewards after killing them. It will say on the top right that you reach the limit or something like that. And lastly, I wouldn't stress too much about your coffees. Yes, it'll feel better once you reach level 70 or 80 and then just spam a whole bunch of coffees, sure. But in the end, you're either going to wait now or wait later. So I feel like people are making it such a way bigger deal than it needs to be, since it all comes out the same in the end. Don't underestimate your 4 stars, prioritize having fun in both resource management and character choosing, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.